Why am I happy? You know why I'm happy. It's my favorite day of the week, Slasher Sunday. So, now the Prowler. Let's start it like this, guys. Come on, let's start it right. Let's do this right. Fucking Christ. Okay, the Prowler. Let's hold it up right. The Prowler is a movie that I should love. Like, on paper, like I look at that, it is directed by Joseph Zito, who did the greatest slasher film of all time, in my opinion, Friday the 13th, Part 4, The Final Chapter. The makeup was done by Tom Savini, who was also, you know, the guy who did the makeup and the effects work on Friday the 13th, Part 4 as well. So that alone should, and this is right in the middle of the slasher craze. This is 1981. This is Savini coming off of stuff like, you know, Friday the 13th and Maniac, and this movie should be amazing. And so many people love it. It is regarded, some people are like, this is my favorite slasher ever. And I wanted to do it because I've had it requested a bunch. And people are like, when are you going to do the Prowler? When do you do the Prowler? I was like, all right, you know, let's get to it. I want to do it. First off, this Blu-ray right here, from Blue Underground, it sucks, okay? It fucking sucks. But even if it was clean, I don't think it would help this movie for me personally. Now, that doesn't mean that I absolutely outright hate this movie. My biggest issue with this film is its pacing. It is so uneventful and slow for such a long period of time. There is scenes where this main guy is just out walking around and he's just being real quiet, and his girlfriend's waiting in the car. She's just being real quiet and nothing's happening. And there's no tension, and there's nobody maybe stalking. There's nothing. And it goes on for so long, so many times. I have seen this movie like 5 times now, and I feel the exact same way every time. There is no tension. There's no excitement. There's nothing going on in those scenes, and there's a lot of it. Like 30 minutes. I'm not fucking around. People will argue with me and be like, no way. And another thing, I don't really care for any of the characters in this movie. There isn't a character that I identify with, that I have any interest in, that I care about in the slightest. There's nobody who makes me laugh, that stands out as a memorable character. Like, I've seen this movie, as I said, like 4, 5 times before this. I didn't remember a single character in it. When I pressed play on this, it was like watching it for the first time, yet again. Because I remembered the kills, because the kills are the best thing in this film. Easily. And I like the setup. I like the killer's outfit. I like that this is, you know, has a period piece opening, because you don't really see period piece horror movies all that much, especially on lower budgets like this. I mean, they had to try to recreate the 1940s here from all the guys who came back from winning World War II and you know, having the GIs out there in their outfits and having the old cars, and that was cool. Cool little attention to detail. And I honestly, this would have been much cooler if the whole movie was in that era, but that would have been expensive. But anyway, I'm not going to bitch too much about the movie. I'm pointing out all the issues that I have with it, so hopefully you can be like, okay, well, at least he has reasons, and he's not just somebody who's like, I hate it, and that's it. You're an idiot if you don't like it, or if you like it too. It's like, no, I'm not that kind of person. I just find this movie to be rather dull, uneventful, and the characters are extremely lacking. There's great things, like potential. The killer looks great. The setting's cool. That kind of stuff. But I just want so much more from this movie, and it's frustrating because I want to love it. I keep trying, and I don't think it's ever going to happen. Anyway. So we get an opening shot of this movie of the Queen Mary, which I've actually stayed on the Queen Mary many times. I grew up in LA. I spent a lot of years in Huntington Beach. And I used to be into paranormal investigation type stuff. And so we went and we stayed on the Queen Mary a couple nights. And I went to down below decks after hours, which is not you know, is against the rules. It's not, you're not supposed to be down there. Went down there with some, you know, camera and all this shit. And scared the fuck out of myself. I was a kid. I was like 12 or something. It was cool. So seeing this was like, oh my God, and all those guys on the ship's crazy how many people that were brought back, like 15,000 people on that ship. It's insane. And then we cut to a Dear John letter. This Rosemary is breaking up with her dude. And this movie was also called Rosemary's Killer, which, you know, it's fine. I like the Prowler better. And then we get a pitchfork double kill. And he rams the pitchfork through these two lovers in some like gazebo type thing, which is a decent kill. It's not extremely graphic or anything. It's just kind of from the back, and it was a little weaker of a kill for Savini. And then we we go on to 1980, which is about the year this was being shot. I love the kill where he puts the bayonet knife through the guy's head and his eyes go completely stark white and his face looks like it's like bulging out for some reason because he's holding his mouth. I don't know, maybe he's just like trying to draw breath in. It just looked really interesting. Maybe if the Blu-ray was cleaned up, I'd like it a little bit more. I don't know. Or should I say, I would know what the fuck was going on in that moment. It looked like something, but because I couldn't see it all that well. But I love that his eyes go all white. And then he takes the pitchfork again and he rams it into this naked girl in the shower. We get the overhead shower cam, which we also get in Friday the 13th Part 4. So Zito seems to like this shot. And yeah, this beautiful naked woman is wasted. She has a pitchfork rammed through her chest, and what a waste. What a waste. And then he throws a rose on the bodies. I noticed that he seems to only do it to women. And then, yeah, it just slows down so much. And then he goes and he kills the girl in the pool, and the knife is in her neck, and he's like moving it around in her neck. That looks fantastic. That's some great Savini work right there. And then, yeah, I mean, there's elements to it that are intriguing, like the fact that when they find this gravestone and this grave's been dug up and they look up and the headstone has been desecrated and the name and the date has been, you know, scratched off, so that leaves some intrigue, mystery. And I just don't feel like this really ever explains anything, which it doesn't absolutely need to. I don't need everything spoon-fed, but I think it would have helped. I think that I could have gotten an explanation for all of what the hell was going on. Like, we find out that, you know, we find out who the killer is, but not really why, per se. Like, I'm guessing he was the guy who got jumped or whatever, but it's just fill in the blanks, and that's fine. Because there was so little going on in this movie for me, I would have liked the mystery to been more of a reveal, like, oh shit, like, it's that guy, you know, and it just wasn't at all. It was like, oh, it's the sheriff, okay. Like, I don't really know much about him. We didn't really spend much time with him. He's not a very interesting or memorable character, so when I saw him, I didn't even know who it was until she was like, sheriff. And I was like, oh, that's the sheriff from earlier? Okay. Who? So that's what I'm saying. Like, this movie, I know people love it. As I said, I've talked to people who are like, this is my favorite slasher movie. So I'm sure I'm going to get blasted in the comments, but that's okay. That's okay. I'm not going to fucking say I like it because a bunch of people love it. That's just not going to happen. Anyway. And then we have a scene that Friday the 13th Part 2 definitely lifted here. And this is a girl, she's hiding under something, and the killer has a pitchfork, and he's walking around the room, and a rat crawls under the table and is, you know, scaring her as she's sitting there and trying to keep quiet as the killer has a pitchfork. Yeah, that was 100%. The fact that Zito worked on 4 and Savini worked on 1, and that's all a big family. This was stolen. That scene was totally taken. And it's too close together to be called an homage. They're like a year apart. And then, yeah, we get another guy. I think we see him a little bit in the movie, but basically like a random guy comes in and shoots the killer. And you're like, oh, okay, who's this guy again? And it's like, oh, all right. And then they just sit there and they stare at each other for like this long, awkward 20 seconds. Seriously, like 20 seconds. They just sit there and she's like smiling. I thought she was gonna like run over and start fucking him or something. I don't know what that was. It was like, thank you, I get that, but why? There's a killer right there, and you could say something. You could run over to him. Just such long like, oh my god, this film is so drawn out, and nothing's happening. It's pissing me off. I want to love it. And then the killer wakes up and he blows the dude away, which is awesome. I love that the killer has like a double-barreled shotgun on him and he blows the dude away. That was great. And then she fights with him, takes the mask off, finds out the sheriff, and then blows his head off. And we get like a Savini maniac, scanners, head explosion, and it like cuts. And then she goes back home. The cops didn't do a very good job of checking around the the places where the murders were taking place, because she still has 2 bodies in her shower, which she discovers, and then the guy with the white eyes comes to life and attacks her, and then she goes back, and then he isn't moving, and I guess we're to believe that she imagined it, and this is now PTSD like the soldiers had, and I don't know. Maybe that's what they were getting at, but I know that we're supposed to know that she imagined it, or did she? She has the blood all over her, so did she? I don't know. I mean, she'd have so much blood on her. She'd have way more. She'd have way more blood on her than she does at the end, because she's underneath the guy whose head she blows up. She would be covered. Her dress is like pink or something. It's like, anyway, doesn't fucking matter. This isn't a very good Slasher Sunday, because I usually do movies I love, but hey, you know what? We can't always do that. We gotta change it up. We gotta keep it fresh. And this has been requested, and here you go. But it's my honest opinion. Not a big fan. Too goddamn slow and nothing really going on. Some cool kills though. So yeah. All right, guys, go ahead, blast me. I don't give a shit. Okay, I care a little because I like most of you. Anyway, guys. All right, until next Saturday, I got to go watch my Monster Monday movie. So, all right, good night.